Alright, so now we'd like to um, do some more stuff here. Guess we'd like to add multiple zones. I don't want 4 to 9 zones. I can deal with 4 or 2 or something like that. And connect the neighboring zones. We don't worry too much about except first and last. Well, let's do that except first and last. So let's put 4 in there. That's what we'll just do here, just like we did 3 for the rooms per zone. Connect all neighboring zones and output a map. That will require some extra stuff. So, yep. Where is that? Okay, so let's go down here. We want to make map. One zone. Did we say somewhere in here how many rooms we're putting it in? We put that in here. Okay, so 3 tools go, and then we see our rooms stuck together in some strange fashion. We're good with that. We are good with that. So, let's see if I break it just by changing this to 2. I don't break it, but it doesn't do anything more. Okay, so let's see. Self scale equals 1. Make map. Oh, make map just has scale. Okay, so that doesn't help me. And we want to keep that at 1 for now anyway. We've got size. Probably we should have zones equals 1 here. Actually, size should go first, and then zones equals 1. So random would give us our random seed. So we have level there. Because it's already 1. We don't need the file yet. Alright. So let's just see what happens if I do 25, 25. Tools, go. That needs to be a tuple. Okay, so what have we got? Okay, so it's possible, actually probably probable, that somewhere in here I just used 35 for a number. So or something. Like in the place rooms, maybe. Okay, so let's do y0 equals self y minus 10. So let's see, what do we have up here? Yeah, I call it self y. Okay, now I've made a smaller map, you see there. We can make it smaller still, maybe make it 25 by 20. See if that works. Yeah, see how it's truncated that down. 25 by 25 is fine. We don't need the in anymore, so let's go ahead and give me some notes. Size is the size of tuple of number of tiles in a zone. Okay. Zones is number of zones. Random is the random number generator. Level is the level number, level reference. And file is the style for the map. We don't have any sort of styling going on right now. That's why we're not doing anything with the file. I put the game model import there because I'm unhappy with having this. Let's got the tools go. See, random is not defined. But random is defined. We had this. This is the reason why I put that in there in the first place, right? Random is defined. Okay, I have no idea what the issue is with that. But I really just don't like it. I want that same random number generator everywhere, right? Which means I need to be able to use it everywhere. Let's see. I did this before. But it's there, right? Okay, so we'll just keep on working with this so we can figure that out. So we've got these this very nice little dungeon sitting here. We want to fix it up a little bit. I want to add a second zone. Okay, so be in Map Maker. You need to be in make map. I think what we're going to have to do is sort of construct the zones. All right, and let's see. So what do we need? We need an ID somewhere, possibly. Not really, maybe. Need a size. That's probably it. Self map equals empty. Let's see, how do we... Actually, we don't need that. Zones can just be a container for rooms, right? All we want to do for the zones is connect rooms. All right. So def get random self will return a random room, right? So now we need random and self random equals random. Let's see here. Random self random choice turn self random choice self rooms. We also need to add rooms. Append self. Self rooms append new. Okay, so now we've just got this container for rooms that will let us connect different rooms in later on when we start putting these things in. Okay. The zone might need to know its own offset. I'm not sure about that, but we might need to do that for something to help us pass information through here. So we make our map, and we place the rooms in the zone. That will return the zone, right? Place rooms 3. Yeah, so let's start with just zone and number. So zone equals zone. Self.random. What did I call that? New. So that creates a new random number. We don't need an offset because we don't have anything going on, so we'll just bring that in there, throwing the zone in there, and tools go. Doesn't do anything interesting. Maybe it modifies this map a little bit, shows some of the places where we've got to fix things. So let's just get in here. Fix map maker so that options are unavailable if rooms are too similar in y/x/y levels greater than or equal to 5 right now. That's sort of what I want to fix there. Let's see. So we've got sort of an ugly map. That's fine. We're not really using the map right now. We haven't broken anything. Now what I would like to do is, since I'm sending the zone up here, I would like to, in my place rooms, rather than having rooms append, I'll have zone append. Right? And when I place corridors in the zone, I'll send the zone instead of the rooms. So right now I did not make the zones so that I could parse them like that. I can do that, but I'd have to look it up again. It's been a while since I've done that. So we need to get room 0. Zone dot get last rooms. That's not really good, but I mean it's at least in that thing there. Any other place where it says rooms? Room and unplaced. Okay, and those are still using those old rooms. So I don't have to do anything more with the corridors. I just need to go down and add a get room and a get last rooms. I should self n. I should splice it up, or I should make it iterable, but I have not, so I will not. Return self.rooms n. Def get last rooms self return list self rooms 1. So I'd like to be able to slice it like this, but it's not really necessary. Did I break that? I did not change that here, right? It's still rooms, not zone. Okay, so if it works, it'll be fine. It is not. Okay, perfectly fine to get rid of a print statement. And there we go. It looks exactly the same. Just using a different just using this zone thing that's going to help me keep track of things, so I can play with that later. So zones, we don't need like a self zone, because we don't need a self zone because we're going to get rid of the zones. The zones are only there for the initial setup. But I do think we're going to need them for placing rooms. Placing corridors, we don't need. Placing rooms, we will need them. So let's come up here. So this is telling me how many zones I need. So it says 4 zones, right? So what I'll do is self zones equals nothing. If I come down here, I need to shove all these things in here. Now this will change stuff. So let's do it. For I in range zones, self.zones.append this thing. Now the only issue here is we also need to add in an offset. So right now, if I did this, they'd all be drawing all over each other. That's not what we want, right? We want to be able to put these together in a reasonable way. So I need somehow to figure out what my offset is going to be. So right now, I don't need I'm just going to use 4 zones, right? I don't need anything complicated, right? So when I let this vary, actually this would be fine for 1, 2, or 4. Even 3 would be fine. So I could make something that will spruce this up, right? It would be nice to be able to do this so that, you know, if you had a 2x6, for example, or a 6-zone thing, you'd be able to break it up in, it could be 2x3 or 3x2, right? Just like that, randomly. And do that procedurally. But right now I'm just going to put the offsets in there. And those go in to the zone. All right. And now we can add our zones way down here. Add corridor has too much logic. Okay, so now we have self zones. We don't need this anymore. Zone in self zones. So now we place the rooms and we place the corridors. And right now I guess I'm sending it just one. So let's see if that breaks anything. Okay, so don't need that. So we might need multipliers. So right now we've got this thing here. We need multipliers in initialize map. So if length of the self zone, well, here let's if so let's not make the map know anything about that. Let's just put the scales in there. Then we do sx comma sy equals scales times sy times sx. Okay, and there it goes again. I will suppress this. This is why it's doing things twice. It's running this twice. Let's see. So now it's still giving me the same thing, right? Because I've only got the one room. So now we have to do something with the offsets. Well, to be honest, possibly we should just send this into the number of zones here into the initialize map. Let's see. That's fine. Zones. All right, so if zones equals 1, self scales equal, then scales equals, let's scales equals 1 1, 2 1, 2 2, 2 2. This has to do with how much map there has to be. So if I have 4 zones, but only if I have 3 zones and they're set up in a box, then they have to be in that sort of L shape, which is sort of this 4 zone. It still has to have a 2 2 size. So let's see if that blew it up. Y scales zones. Okay, it's still where we were. And let's see if I was doing that right when we put it into 4. What did I break? Oh, that was too large. So zones -1. Well, that looks good. I didn't add the offsets, so we got all these things going around like this. That makes for an interesting looking cave, but it is not what we were looking for. We got all 4 of these things put up on top of each other. So that means we have to come to the room placement. Okay, and we need to find x1, y1, which is zone get offset. All right, so we just put the offset in. So now we have to get the offset. Okay, let's see if I broke anything. No, oh, I didn't actually use it. Okay, so plus x1 plus x1 or y1. This one is y1. Tools go. Something went out of range. That makes me sad. Let's see. Offset should be fine, right? Let's try another number here. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it was in 4, 4 that we had the problem. So it was in the fourth zone that we're having that problem. So let's see, add room. Shouldn't do anything. It's just the same thing. I already sent it an offset. If the offset is fine, then that shouldn't do anything. X1, Y1. Okay, so first one 0, 0, 25, 0, 0, 25, and 25, 25. So that's fine. Right. It's XX, SX, SY, so this should be going to 50. Do I add something in twice? Okay, is self Y what I want anymore here? So actually I have to worry about this. No, I don't. That's fine. Right? Self Y is the size of a zone. So a size of a zone minus 10 plus the size of a zone, or the offset for this particular zone. Let's just look at 3. Let's see if 3 does what I expect it to. And then we can worry about 4. Okay, so there's 3. Okay, so we've got 3 copies that are perfectly good. They're not connected, but they're perfectly good. So I just don't see why there's an issue. Self rooms, list get room 1. Okay, so we have the right offsets. This is what we said. So the offsets that we got were fine. We know they're fine because we can see they're fine down here. Division is perfectly fine. Alright. So let's see, is there anywhere I use X0? Okay, so I got these guys from other places. I got these guys before I did anything. Okay. Place corridors has no print statements. We're okay with that. We don't need. Maybe we can. Let's see what that did. Yeah, this thing's hitting at 10. But this guy did as well. So actually, I don't see any good reason for this right now. Okay. Let's try a random different seed for clear this thing out. Tools go. Does it still break? Yes, it does. So I've still got things printing out, but here we've got 0, 25, 25, 0, 25, 0, 0, 25, 25, 25. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at column and row. Okay, so these are just from data, so it's got to be with the offset. All right, which is in add room. So it's with these offsets, which is what we were worried about. So let's see about those. All right, so where was I? This error. Okay. I guess we just have to, let's see. All right. So we need to print to add room. XY. All right, and that'll tell us what's going on. $33.48. Okay. This 10 is too much. Okay, that's probably just what I've done there. Okay, let's see. Can we do better? Okay, now it works. All right. So we have all of these rooms here. We're stuck with 3 right now. Did I put those in? That could have happened on either this one or this one. I've done something strange. But for the seed that we're using, it's only been going to this one. Now I need to connect. I've got the guys in each one of these blocks. I need to connect them. I've got several ways I can do that. I can either pick a random one and try to draw a line through it, right? And that can give me more overlap. Or I can choose rationally, like say, take this guy and draw a corridor between them, and this guy and this guy, and this guy and this guy, right? So in the end, it might take more work to figure things out when I have more leeway on what's actually going on between these corridors. But I think that's the best way to do it for now. Also, I'll probably let myself exclude this last one, so if I need to if this is part of the story for this, the sort of mini story for this quadrant, then he's not going to connect to that guy because he's the last thing, unless I want him to be an actual block between these two areas, which I might, depending on the story, right? Which means I might even have to make this more complicated than I'm about to, right? So we've gone through, we don't need to place rooms anymore. You only have make map. So we've gone through and made a bunch of zones. And then we need to self connect zones. Let's see. Def connect zones self. If length of zones is equal to 1, then we just return none, right? We don't need to do anything. If the length of zones is equal to 4, so that should be an elif. So I need to think of a way to make this more systematic. We can do that later. We just want to get this thing connected so that we can go on to the next thing right now. If we have the right things going on there, we can make it better later. Then we connect zones 1 and 2 by taking let's see. Let's see. We're going to have to do add corridor. Is that it? Yeah, between two rooms. So add corridor zone 1, zone 2. I guess that's self-add corridor. Zone 1, zone 3, and zone 3, zone 4. Like I said, I'm going to have to make something a little smarter than this. Showing this is zone 1, 1, zone 2, 1, zone 1, 2, zone 3. Oh, I'll do this right, left, down, up, right, left. So then I have to get all of these things. Zone, I see I need to do this better. Zone 1R equals zones 0. This is self zones. Get rightmost. Zone 2L is equal to self zones 1.get leftmost. Zone 2. Probably ought to make just one thing because it just says one of these things, right? R, or zone 2, or zone 1D equals self zones 0 get bottommost. Zone 3U equals self zones 2 get topmost. Zone 3R equals self zones 2.get rightmost. Zone 4L equals self.zones 3.get leftmost. So all these have to be turned into one method. Def get leftmost self. So x equals 0. Let's say -1, right? Out equals none. For room in rooms. If, let's see, xy equals room.get position. Is that what I call it? For my rooms. Well, rooms only have centers. Okay. Well, we can go with centers. If, oh, that's no good. If x is, well, leftmost, so let's, not rightmost, So let's go with a big number here. If x is less than x0, then x0 equals x, and out equals room. Return room. This is part of the reason. So if there's an error in this leftmost, then there'll be the same error in all of these, right? So that's why we don't want to do it this way. But we are anyway, right? Rightmost -1, get center, x is greater than x0. Okay. Okay, we want a topmost is -1, y is greater than y0, swap them out. And bottommost. All right. Y. See, if I did proper programming, then I'd only have to change one of those things. And that almost did it. Almost. Look at that. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but obviously we have a connected dungeon now. So let's see where I screwed up for. Okay, left and right I did. Oh, I didn't do any for this, so didn't do anything for this guy here, which is fine. We'll live with that. That is a complex enough situation right there, right? I think we agree. We could also do if self random dot choice true false. Two down, four up. And this is basically something that we'd have to do. Really, what probably I should do is I should mark these in such a way that, you know, it goes around in a circle and it has one that it pulls out. Pulls out one, then it's always going to stay connected. Also, this should have a exclude equals false. The exclusion would exclude the last bit here. So the exclusion would have to pass through here to the zones, and that would tell it to stop doing that, and that would have to have something to do with the actual pattern that we want to deal with our story. So just remember that excluded excludes excludes quest rooms from connecting between zones. Although it doesn't right now, but that's what it will do. Okay. I've got 1, 3, 2, 4. Let's see if that changes. That doesn't change for this particular guy. That coin flip turns out to be false. But really, it would be preferable to exclude either this guy or this guy. This connection between 3 and 4, or this connection between 2 and 4. Because we really only want to get one way into this last bit, which is sort of the level quest finale. Okay, so actually let's go ahead and strike through and strike through. Okay, so all we have to do now is figure out how to send this back to the game model. So we have to send all this back here so that we get whatever it is we need to actually make my map, right? Since I'm having this trouble importing things, because I need to import that map into the map maker so that at the end of make map here, it actually sends out not self map, but an actual map. So you want to make the map, and then we want to convert the map, right, into squares. Right now it's in these tiles, which I haven't even made into tiles yet. So I think I have to make a class for the tiles that will have information in them, so we can readily turn these into squares and turn the squares into other things. So I think, even though I would like to finish this video by finishing 8, I think we're at the spot where maybe one test or something more and we are done with this silly map maker. Let's go back to our 99. Alright, and that made us a map. And this, oh crap. Alright, so yeah, that one connects over here. Looks really ugly. We've got some of those errors that we were talking about. We'd seen those before. Look at all these weird connections. That's awesome. So right most for him, left most for him, bottom most for 1, top most for 3, right most leftmost. Yeah, it's not coming from this guy. These guys are connecting correctly. So it's just things that are too close together that are causing that problem, I'm guessing. So anyways, to make a map, I'm going to have to turn these numbers into tiles, I think, so that I can correctly associate them with the rooms, and the exits here will get put into the rooms and stuff like that. Just have to fix up a couple of things and it'll be done, hopefully. I need to be able to get this import working, right? Because that import is not working correctly.